Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Fox News article. Alex Murdaugh, old money SC Democrat, South Carolina Democrat, knew how to play political game in red state. Murdaugh and family donated mostly to Democratic candidates, but also to Republicans. He was found guilty this evening of slaying his son and his wife. Really diabolical and evil. And did I mention that he was an old money Democrat? This is interesting because today you had a Democratic mayor arrested on 50-plus counts of the most wicked, evil, sinister, diabolical criminal acts. And now you have an old money Democrat who gave to Clinton and to Biden, according to this article. He knew how to play the political game, and he gave most of his donations to Murdaugh, gave money to Biden, Clinton, Joe Cunningham, among other Democrats. So, you have a situation where, I'll just bring up the political aspect here. Politically, if this was in any way connected to Trump, it would be 24/7 coverage. This is, like I said, the second Democrat, a Democrat in Maryland, mayor, arrested today. You have Alex Murdaugh, a Democratic donor, and an old money political Democrat in South Carolina, convicted of the unthinkable. I guess I don't know if there's a lesson or commentary here other than disgraced lawyer guilty of, wife and son. NPR, why America is obsessed with the Alex Murdaugh trial. Let's see if the word Democrat is anywhere mentioned within this NPR article. Let's see. Nope, not in one. Did a word search, not one word. Yeah, I wonder why. Here's the thing. Power, fame, money, that does not mean safety or happiness. It does not mean, if in many instances, I'm not saying all the time, but in many cases, the more power and the more money you have, the less safe, the less happy you are. Okay? So if you're like me with no power and not a lot of money, you're actually safer in a way, especially if you have the Second Amendment. And then the rebuttal would be, oh, well, he used to end the lives of his. I was like, well, okay. Yeah, he could have done so, unfortunately, in a number of different ways. But the point is, you don't need a security detail like Democrats, liberal Democrats in Congress, progressives in Congress who pay $30,000 a year for security details. The biggest hypocrites on the planet. But my point, though, is the New Yorker, the corrupt world behind the murder. Is the New Yorker going to mention that he gave mostly to Democrats? It's like unbelievable. Here, the former chair of the state Democratic Party has talked about playing golf with Biden. Okay. So, this is talking about one of the attorneys here. But no mention that he gave mostly to Democrats, and this was a person who gave to Biden's campaign. Again, there's not much you can make of this other than you have a criminal, a murderous criminal who did the unthinkable to two family members. You'd have to be truly a monster to have done this. Truly, truly a monster. And I really haven't paid much attention to, why he did this, or, what kind of maniacal or insane motive had to do with, money and insurance and all that. But there are people who, doesn't matter if you're famous, you have money, power, or if you're not famous and you have no money, there are people out there who are capable of the most diabolical criminal things. And oftentimes you just don't know who they are, don't know who they could be. You don't know what makes a person snap into that point of no return. You know, I watch the crime, like all these different crime channels on YouTube all the time. So I'm like super, I wouldn't say paranoid, but like, you see these people and these criminals, these vicious, diabolical, sinister, evil, wicked, like murderers, and there's a certain type of individual, like with the, serial type, that they enjoy inflicting that type of, violence. Then there's people like this man, probably, who lacked any empathy, or had no love, or had no compassion or empathy. If he was a sociopath or a psychopath or whatever clinical, however you want to describe this man from a psychological perspective, or there's likely a point in his life where he lost touch with what made him human, or what makes a person human. And whether, who knows what, I mean, I can't imagine what would push somebody to that type of diabolical, unthinkable, sinister, despicable, evil. I don't know what could push a person to do that. I don't know the ins and outs of the trial, but I can tell you that the power, the money, the fame, the politics also, the fact that this is yet another Democrat within one day. Can you imagine, though, if it was two Trump supporters? Just think about that for a second. If it was a Trump-supporting mayor, you wouldn't hear the end of the absurd leaps of logic. But with Democrats, they don't really. You will find very few articles talking about how this man donated mostly to Democrats, or how the mayor in Maryland is a Democratic Party mayor with ties to specific individuals in Biden's campaign. Anyway, though, the issue here is that this is why you need the Second Amendment, to protect yourself from these types of individuals. Now, you might say, well, he used it. It's like, well, okay, yeah, but you can also, if the son and the wife had access to, I don't even want to get into it, but they could have protected themselves. Again, I'm not really getting into the details of what took place, because I don't know the details. I'm just speaking out loud. It's just very bizarre. The whole thing's very bizarre. But these things, like these terrible, terrible, terrible tragedies take place, and you just wonder, like, when you're watching the crime channel, it's just people who are absolutely sinister, wanting to inflict the most damage upon humanity. Capital punishment, I think, is a no-brainer. I think it's immoral to say, the state shouldn't. Well, but you look at the damage, look at the chaos and mayhem and the unthinkable this human being caused. So his life should. I don't want to get into that, but anyway, convicted of murder and fatal shooting of wife and son. Jury took 3 hours. Inside a feed room attached to a dog kennel. Oh my God. And so, let's see. The wealthy sign of once powerful legacy. Legal dynasty has admitted he's a addict and thief who allegedly swindled his law firm and clients out of $9 million. Well, Sam Bankman-Fried, $1 billion or no? What am I thinking? 20 billion? But he didn't end anyone's life. Another Democratic donor, by the way. Sam Bankman-Fried. Just terrible. Let's see. I'm trying to look at... The Murdaugh name wielded enormous influence, and Alex Murdaugh even served as a volunteer prosecutor. Oh, my God. Okay. Give me your thoughts below. Really terrible, terrible tragedy. It's like, what makes somebody... I think that it's not only what makes somebody, it's that the individual is I don't want to say there are individuals who have that capacity, let's just say, unfortunately, in the world. I don't think most people have the capacity to do that. Unfortunately, there are people who have the capacity to do that. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right